XRP had a mini surge to the upside over the last kind of 24-48 hours. However, we do continue to see more resistance. In today's video, we're going to be jumping back into the technical analysis on XRP, where I'll be sharing my thoughts and opinions as to where I think that price action is heading next. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and let's take a look at what's going on with XRP. Okay guys, so here we have XRP paired up with USDT on the 1 hour Binance chart, and as you can kind of see, the 200 hourly EMA continues to be resistance for XRP's price action. So yesterday we did see a bit of a push to the upside, so 0200 hours up here to a 4.36%, up to 52.44 cents wise. But of course it wasn't sustainable, and we can see here that we found more resistance on that 200 EMA. And even right now at the point of recording this video, which is 6 a.m. UTC, we're finding resistance here on the 50 EMA, 50 SMAs, the yellow and blue lines coming through the chart. So we know that there's some interesting things going on with the price action. We can see here a very interesting move to the upside, the move back down here as well, also showing a lot of volatility. So we're not overly confident that it's going to be a huge break to the upside on this 1 hour time frame. You can see a steep move to the downside following a 5-wave pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then a 3-wave move to the upside. We are looking, in my opinion, potentially for a diagonal here before we kind of continue down. So I think volatility is going to be the key to this weekend's kind of price action for XRP. So we want to keep a close eye on that. Let's take a look at the momentum. We're going to take a look, and not at the histogram, but the stochastic to start with. Here you can see bullish momentum slightly seeping back into the market a little bit on the 1 hour time frame. Outside of that, not much going on there. We're kind of lower than 50 level, but potentially looking for a shift. We'll keep an eye on that. The relative strength index here is lower than the 50 level, and we are looking bearishly. Obviously, the hidden bearish divergence and the bearish divergence, which we saw coming up to the 200 EMA, would have presented itself with some fantastic opportunities for going short on the market right in that upper area, specifically as we start to see the resistance of the 200 EMA, couple that with the bearish divergences that you see on that on the relative strength index. Going back to that histogram there, the histogram is very interesting. We did see some growth here in the histogram. Okay, now that's good, it's a good sign, but at the same time we actually come down quite massively from here. I say massively, but like from the momentum, it was building and then just kind of got rug pulled. So the momentum kind of just stopped. Even though we had higher highs and higher histograms here, it looked like that we might get a break to the upside on that 200 EMA. The 200 EMA remains a strong area for selling pressure. Now, the good news is that the histogram here on this pull to the downside hasn't shown strength in comparison to where it was previously. There's no divergences. We have, of course, higher lows on the 1 hour time frame, and of course, we still see, there's weakness in selling at the moment. Now, if this does increase and we actually create some bearish divergences, we need to be aware of that. But for now, it's not terribly too bad. The other thing that is kind of looking interesting to me is the idea that we might have some bullish divergence. Okay, and I use the word might because it is a bit of an interesting kind of structure. Okay, so if I draw in a trend line on that histogram like so, kind of ignoring these points of reference down over this side, but we kind of think about this high that we had up on the 29th of October, and then we start thinking about that most recent swing to the upside, but it's a lower high, right? It's a lower high in price action, but it's a higher high on the histogram. And that gives us an idea that maybe there's a bullish break that is going to come to the upside, okay? But that, I think, is going to be a little bit further down the line. So interesting that we are starting to see some bullish momentum seeping back into the market. And so that is going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. With weakness in selling, specifically here, are we going to get that break a little bit earlier? Are we going to be targeting a break of that previous swing high at 53.05? That's going to be the question to kind of keep an eye on. For us to kind of get a better anchor on that, we are, of course, going to reference buying volumes and selling volumes. This weekend just absolutely dropped off. There are pushes to the upside, sure, but then nothing really happening after that. So interesting to keep an eye on that. Now, if I roll this up to a 4 hour time frame, you can see that there is bearish momentum here from the stochastic RSI, resistance on the 50 EMA, 50 SMAs, and so although we might see some volatility on the smallest time frame, like an hour time frame, as we kind of creep up into the more macro levels, it's not looking as strong. But let's go ahead and check out the divergence indicator. Again, we saw hidden bearish divergence. That was a while back on the 29th of October. We are lower than the 50 level on the RSI, so we are still looking for bearish shifts there. The MACD histogram. Now, this is where things kind of get a little bit more interesting. Okay, so here we can see, if I zoom out of this just a little bit, we do have some bullish divergences, specifically with how we have a lower high but a higher high on bullish volume. Okay, so 48.6 cents, the wick low that we had on the 25th of October, so a week ago. That looks like a solid low at the moment. This correction to the downside may still have a little bit more to go, but we might be looking for a push and a test of that 200 EMA. Okay, with our bearish momentum also showing some interesting stuff as well. Okay, the histogram here can see that we have a higher lows coming in on that histogram. It's not as neat as you would like it to. And of course, we can see that there's weakness in the selling pressure at the moment. So as we kind of get into the macro levels, it looks weaker, but from certain perspectives on these smaller time frames, like the 1 hour and 4 hour, we can see that there might be another test of this 200 EMA. Okay, and that's really important because what we can think about is how we can position our trades to take advantage of this. Okay, so we can be looking for some entries, if I come down to the hourly chart, a little bit lower in the price section, and we'll be targeting out a breakout above 53.05. That 200 EMA on the 4 hour time frame, guys, is coming in at 53.75. Okay, so we can see here that there's a potential double top, maybe a little bit more of a move to the upside, but we have to kind of appreciate maybe there's a little bit more of a push to the downside. The reason and the rationale behind all of this will be the idea that we have some kind of maybe irregular flat correction going on within this area, and up here we have a three-wave move looking to get a double top at around 53. Now, our entry on this, I think, is going to be quite close. We're getting close to a potential move here, so we've got a couple of options on this one. We can go long on the market at market value for today's arguments, stop loss lower than the previous wick low, and we target out that double top area at 53.05. 53.05. Okay, now at 53.05, that's going to give us a 1.61 risk reward ratio. Now we might be able to get better entries on that, etc., because I do think we are correcting at the moment, and we might find there's a better entry point for us. But for the purpose of today's video, we can use that kind of market value as entry. Okay, now that means that we're going to be heading out towards a 200 4-hour EMA. We have momentum here on the 1 hour time frame, 4 hour time frames, and so forth. So that's a little bit of the volatility that we could be seeing here for XRP. Ultimately, I think that this will be a reasonable area, but of course, if we break that low, we can think about going down a little bit deeper. So we can enter a short down here, tight stop loss again, and target out a little bit further on a 1.5 risk reward ratio, and tapping back into those previous areas of demand. Okay, so we can hedge against those bets a little bit should we want to, give you an idea to kind of run both ways. If your stop loss does hit, reverse the trade, short the market, and basically recoup some of those losses. But for the most part, I think the bigger opportunity is going to be in this long position on the 1 hour time frame. From that 1 hour time frame, though, once we push up into those higher ranges towards that 200 EMA, what do we want to do? We want to go short on the market because our macro data is telling us that there's not a big break to the upside here, and this is a very corrective pattern. Okay, so we'll be thinking about those short positions as we kind of approach the 200 EMA. But for now, we do think a long position towards the 200 EMA and towards 53.05 is probably the move to be making in the market if we wanted to be going and trading on XRP. And talking about trading, we have an amazing deal for you today. How does a 10% cashback bonus up to 2,000 USDT sound? That's right, Blowfin is offering an incredible promotion, but it's only available to the first 100 users, so you'll need to act fast. Blowfin, a top cryptocurrency exchange, is giving new users a fantastic opportunity. When you sign up using the special link in the description, you can get a 10% cashback bonus up to 2,000 USDT in your futures account. And the best part, it's first come, first served basis. So the first 100 users to sign up will be the ones who can claim this bonus. Here's how you can jump in. Step 1, click the special link in the description to sign up to Blowfin. Step 2, once you're in, start trading the futures. Step 3, you'll automatically get a 10% cashback bonus in in your futures account, up to 2,000 USDT if you're one of the first 100 users to sign up. So what are you waiting for? This is a limited time offer, and only the first 100 users will get this incredible deal. Click the link in the description down below, sign up to 𝗕𝗀𝗀 and secure your 10% cashback up to 2,000 USDT before it's gone. Don't miss out on this amazing offer from 𝗕𝗀𝗀. Remember, it's first come, first serve. So hit that link in the description and get started now. Good luck and happy trading. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll this up into the daily time frame. Okay, on the daily time frame, we obviously did enter into a short position a while back off the rejection of the 200 EMA on the daily time frame. We moved the stop loss into profit. We said we probably want to be thinking about closing this off, specifically after we saw 48.6. We obviously did move up. We saw weakness again, and we were expecting another move to the downside. Again, we want to be kind of thinking about this short position coming out of it if we're still in it. Ultimately, I'm leaving it here just for illustration purposes at this point. We were looking for a move down towards 45.22. I still think that is a very possible move, but we might actually be moving back to the 200 EMA before we actually get that next kind of run to the downside. We'll be looking for a big 5-wave move here, and so the actual target range is down at 43 to 40 cent, and it could look something like this. We have the wave 1, we have a big wave 2 brewing, we come down for a wave 3, 4, and then 5, and we finish off that structure that we've been tracking here for a giant ABC structure. Okay, so we could be still in play for that, but there could be another better entry for a short position towards that 200 EMA. The 200 EMA on the daily time frame is at 54.9 cents. Okay, with the previous swing highs of our chart coming in at 56.66 cents. Okay, so it's looking interesting on the daily time frame. Now, taking a look at our momentum, still shifting down. We still have momentum here moving down, but of course, things can change very rapidly on those smaller time frames and the larger time frames, which are still looking bearish in my opinion, but we might push up a little bit before we continue this move to the downside, right? Which is kind of lining up with everything we've been talking about on the smaller time frames. You can see that the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, is still in the bearish side of its momentum, so it's not above 50. It's actually currently at 41. Can go down, can go up from here, of course, but we're in bearish territory. That's kind of what the momentum indicator is telling us. The MACD, of course, is still showing us with weakness on buying and on selling. Okay, that hasn't changed since the last video. You can see here that there is not a lot of buying activity going on and there is not a lot of selling activity going on. This is getting to a point where it is going to break one way or the other. I am looking and tracking a short move to the downside. We are looking for around 40 to 45 cents. That's going to be the area of where I think we're likely to see kind of bigger reversals in the market. So we're getting very, very close. Now, I could be wrong with my timing. We might not have to see the 40 to 45, right? But we can see from our data that XRP is gearing up for a big move, a big break. And I do think that break is going to be to the upside in terms of where we come out of this kind of triangular wedge pattern. We're going to be looking for a break to that upside, even if we do first of all move down into those lower ranges within that kind of ABC structure that I was talking about just a moment ago. So for the most part, I think XRP is tracking quite nicely. It's tracking kind of everything that we've been talking about for a little while. And of course, you know, if I zoom out of this, it's just really ranging between the low ranges, between the 33.46 to 46.16, and the higher range, which is 66.13 to 75 cents. Basically, you hit the higher range, you drop to the lower range. You hit the lower range, you jump to the top range, right? And basically, we're just in a ranging market, and that's what we're looking to break out of. You take a look at this histogram, you can see how it's kind of been behaving, and we are looking for a big break for XRP's price action. Now, of course, there's a super bearish area, which was 28 to 32. I don't think we're going to go there, but it's something that's still technically possible that we need to keep an eye on. If we do move down into those lower ranges, it's going to be one hell of an opportunity. Ultimately, we are still looking at tracking a bullish move on a bigger macro scale to the upside, so we're not terribly too concerned about those things. Taking a look at the weekly, you can see here we are still looking for upward movements, and everything here is actually just kind of typical kind of structures that are playing out for XRP. Our momentum on our weekly time frame, let's take the histogram off and bring in the relative strength index here, the stochastic version, you can see is oversold. So it's gaining momentum, or momentum is going to be switching around. We're going to be looking for bullish momentum on the weekly time frame soon. You can see the divergence indicator here also dancing around that mid level around 50. We're currently at 46.1 on the weekly time frame. So we are looking for a bit of an increase, and you can see as well volumes have been decreasing as we we've been correcting. So we are looking for a break to the upside soon, I think. And that's going to be a fantastic place for many of the XRP holders to kind of really think about those next kind of targets. Mine are $5 to $11. You can let me know in the comments below where you think XRP is going to be heading on that macro scale of 2025's bull market, or join us in our free Discord server and we can continue the conversations down there. Now, those are my thoughts and opinions on the data in the charts as I see it for XRP. But what are yours? Let me know. And if you have found this video useful and informative, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And don't forget to check out this video right here. It's not one that you want to miss.